Are you kids high right now?
No.
Hello, and welcome to our review of Preacher Season 2, and probably some of Season 1, if we get to it.
Well, we'll probably have to mention some of it, so...
Yeah, non-spoilers first.
Okay. What did you think overall?
Hashtag good.
Yes. Hashtag good.
End of
Official-
review, goodbye.
Official review. No, I don't know. In depth. Johnny
Well.
Depth.
Yes, in Johnny Depp, which I'm not at the moment, but... I'm sure later on. Preacher is a show that has great diverse characters. It's based off of what I can only assume is a weird and marvelous comic, because I've never read it.
Nope.
I'll have to get around to that.
I feel like it'd be an interesting comic.
Yeah. The show is so mad and out there and it's stuff, and it takes chances, and it takes all kinds of risks that regular TV just would not take.
Like a 10-inch dick. I'd need to see it to believe it.
Yeah, I wonder how many complaints they've got.
Yeah. Hopefully it takes these risks in the pursuit of source material and accuracy and stuff like that. If not, it's probably just Seth Rogen pissing about while he's stoned.
Which is fine, because it turned out great.
Yeah, which is also fine too, because I haven't read the comics and I like the outcome.
Yeah, but it's a very smart show.
Yeah. A lot of jabs at religion and stuff in there. I mean, the whole thing is quite on the nose about religion and God and stuff like that.
It's like
And
a modern outlook
Yeah,
of religion and stuff.
yeah. Whereas, like, in real life, a show made by atheists would be like, oh, God doesn't exist and all this. In the context of this show's universe, God definitely does exist. And so do angels and heaven and hell and everything like that. All that shit exists, but it still feels like this is a show made by atheists about characters that are borderline atheists.
Yeah.
Which is quite good. It's funny. It's definitely not a show for serious religious people. I wonder how many of them saw this and watched the first episode and were immediately horrified.
I feel like season 2 is worse for serious religious people.
Yeah,
I mean, because if they're going to get offended at any point,
it's probably
this
here.
is the worst. But if you're not religious, it's very
Then
funny.
It's pretty good going.
The characters.
Oh, the characters.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
A funny bloody cavalcade of cartoon characters just come to life cohesively and cabbage.
Oh, that's alliteration right there.
Anyway,
There's a lot of characters.
they more or less just got rid of all of Season 1's characters in a way that I won't spoil, because I already did in a previous take.
But season 2 moves away from everything that happens in season 1, essentially.
It introduces some great new characters, new allies, new foes, just all kinds of stuff.
Especially unexpected allies.
Yeah. And unexpected foils. Oh,
Oh,
the foils. Tin foil.
cling film.
Serious professional reviewers right here. In case you couldn't tell. But, you want to move into spoilers? I feel like we've given the non-spoiler people a good enough reason to watch this show.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to not spoil. Although this is going to take
It's going to take a
explaining.
heavy going over with a big bloody fine-tooth comb.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Wait. Now.
So, season 1 ends with,
Big fire explosion.
yeah, to put it simply,
Yeah, everyone's dead. Everyone's dead from a bloody methane leak explosion type thing. It turned out there were a load of funnels just coming out the ground, spitting out methane, and all it would have taken was for anyone to put a match in
yeah.
those.
No, but just for, I mean, you need to know for season 2. They find out that God is missing, and everyone loses hope.
Everyone loses hope, everyone falls into despair, but Jesse, Cassidy, and Tulip decide that they need to go on a road trip and find God, because that's fun.
Yep.
Finding God. Nice. And then they do, and that's where season 2 begins. Shall we talk about the new characters that were introduced?
Okay.
Who's your favourite?
Out of all the new characters,
Yeah. Let's see. Among that list is the Saint of Killers,
Yeah.
who's a big tough cowboy guy from hell who's sent after our heroes by the two angels from the first season,
Yep.
whose names I don't remember.
Me neither. There's also K-Star,
Yes.
the head of Grail Industries.
The most interesting man in the world.
Yep, with his very emotional voice,
Mm-hmm.
flourished with power.
He's a man that takes a walk on the wild side. And Adolf Hitler.
Yep, Hitler's in this.
Oh boy.
Hitler is Eugene's best friend in hell.
Mm-hmm. Because you gotta have someone in hell, and, you know, makes a lot of sense that he'd be down there. But I really like the way they've approached the character of Hitler. I think...
Yeah, this sounds bad out of context, but Hitler is my favourite character.
Yeah, I quite like the way they did Hitler, up until the very end, which we'll go into in a minute. Hitler's just like, he's just this guy.
Yeah, he's like an average guy. Like, if you didn't know who it was meant to be, and it didn't look like him,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know it was Hitler.
Yeah, no.
And it strangely makes you feel sympathetic.
Yeah, that's the thing, that this show is so brave and intelligent that there are parts where you do genuinely feel bad for Hitler, and that's such a strange emotion.
Yeah, like you kind of just like, oh, maybe Hitler wasn't such a bad guy after all.
Yeah, you're like, maybe there's a chance, maybe we can bloody redeem this guy. You know, just I'd like to see Hitler finally get a leg up.
It was very clever the way they did that. Turned everything on its head.
Mm-hmm. My favourite character is probably Her Star, because I think he's got this great kind of outlook on life. He's got this great kind of just bold brassness. In a way, he embodies the show, because he's just like, he does weird, crazy shit and says weird, crazy shit.
Girl, I must warn you, I sense something strange.
Klaus Helmut Starr, orphaned at the age of 4. What was that like?
Taught me discipline, self-reliance, how to make an omelette.
That is this show, more or less in a nutshell.
His outlook of being
Yeah.
super serious, but then says things with a super serious tone that usually wouldn't be serious.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah. Okay, so what about all the religious stuff?
They introduce a character called Humperdoo, who is the 25th, give or take, generation grandchild of Jesus Christ. So, first you see Jesus getting it on, bloody starting his bloodline going with some woman. Yeah, so he does that, and then obviously Passion of the Christ happens, and he's dead, and his followers just take the baby and more or less raise that child and its offspring through the next 2,000 years.
Yep.
Or whatever.
And then it cuts to present day when all this is happening.
And the modern day ancestor of Jesus is a lovely fellow by the name of Humperdoo, who is, for lack of a better term, a simpleton. A heavily interbred simpleton.
Who likes to pee on people.
Likes to pee on people, likes to bloody rub bald heads, and
Eat his own hemorrhoids.
eat his own hemorrhoids. Make pretty drawings of dogs and other stuff that is relevant to the plot. And that's kind of his day. He lives in kind of like in candlelight underground in stone walls, like he's back in bloody good old Christ time.
The OG Christ time.
Yeah. Bloody good old BC. Whatever. Not sure why that is. I think if you were raising this person to be a messiah, you would at least let them have a TV. Or just, you know, some kind of modern amenities, but no, keep him humble, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that was the point.
Yeah. Now this season's, it's pretty good. It's I'd say it's better than the first. Would you say that?
Yeah. It has more context about what the show's about. The first season is mostly introducing the plot.
Yeah, it's more or less the first season, just kind of stuff happens and it doesn't explain it, like, for a long time, like when he gets the power and stuff like that, and Cassidy's just a vampire, but there are seemingly no other vampires in the entire world.
And no one questions that he's a vampire either. No one's surprised or...
Well, no, that's the thing. You see, when we first get introduced to Cassidy in the first season, he's been caught in a trap, kind of, by vampire hunters. So there are people that
there are people.
There are people that know of vampires and outright hunt them and try to kill them and stuff like that. But then after that, there's no mention of that. There's just like vampires are just kind of like just Cassidy and that's it.
Yeah.
And all that vampire craziness is just left. But in season 2, they kind of expand it a little bit more. They don't really broaden the vampire world as much as I would have liked, but you know what? It's fine.
Yeah, but they acknowledged it, though.
They acknowledged
That's enough, I guess.
that there are other vampires and, like, you know, that he's lived a long life and all this, and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I did kind of feel like this season got sloppy towards the end, though. Like, those last two or three episodes, would you say?
Yeah, it's not so much... Okay, sloppy is probably the best word for it, but I think the standards just weren't
as high
to the level of the beginning of the series was.
Yeah, it's like they kind of just went, fuck it, we'll just get it out. Just kind of like the Saint of Killers comes back after he'd seemingly been dealt with, and his assault on the core group of main characters isn't really as good as the previous one.
Yeah, like the first attack on them was really badass.
Yeah,
And,
you could tell this guy meant serious fucking business, and he got shit done. Like, he was a credible threat to everyone. But this one, it just, like, he pushes everyone about through walls and stuff like that. Bad CGI, wall flipping with one hand.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like maybe he wasn't, supposed to be as violent, but even still, the way it was done didn't match up to standards, I guess.
Yeah, I think after such a badass introduction to this character, and, you know, the way they dealt with him and stuff like that, for him to then come back and be not as good, it's kind of disappointing, because it is implied or specifically stated, I'm not sure, that he has all his old powers back and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're into spoilers, so I'll just say it, but
yeah.
Jesse gives him part of his soul.
And that's how he can control him, because
yeah.
it turns out the Genesis power only works on people with souls.
But yeah, so basically when the Saint of Killers comes back, the Grail Industries take that soul back.
Yeah, that little bit of 1% of soul.
So therefore, he's not a person anymore, he's back to being a demon, essentially. So he gets all his powers back. It's not specifically stated that, but if you follow the plot, you understand it.
Yeah. And that Warden of Hell, she just kind of keeps turning up towards the end and doing shit that's against the rules of that world and saying, well, God's gone, who's going to stop me? But to me, what that felt like was, the writers are gone, who's going to stop me? It really was just kind of like paving over the cracks, just like, we need a solution to this issue we wrote ourselves into. Speaking of hell again, there's a bit where Hitler, after all that character building and stuff that we had with Hitler and the times we felt sympathy for him for reasons I can't explain, he finally like kind of snaps back to ruthless dictator, more or less.
I don't even know why you hang out with that guy. He's a mass murderer. And a dick.
Not necessarily. It's more like he uses his identity as obviously the most evil man to ever exist.
Yeah, like he's certainly...
To get some kind of power back.
Yeah, there's a bit where he needs to demand everyone follow his orders. Something that, you know, if you've ever read a history book, you'll know he was pretty good at that. People would do...
anything he said, basically.
Anything he said. And the way he does that is by delivering one of the most sloppy lines and weirdest performances in the entire show. And he just goes, I'm motherfucking Hitler.
And this isn't in his entire persuasion.
Yeah, that's all it took, apparently. He didn't do anything to prove to the other people in hell, to his other hellmates, that he was...
Hellmates.
Yes, I did think of that just now.
I thank you.
He doesn't do anything to, like, win the respect or anything like that. He doesn't do anything to intimidate them. He just says, I'm motherfucking Hitler, and that's apparently enough.
Yeah, I mean, considering in history, he had the power of speech to convince people to commit mass genocide.
You'd think he'd be a bit more persuasive, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But anyway, we've babbled on about Hitler far too much. I think this is probably going to be not advertiser-friendly.
Oh well.
Oh well, we don't have ads on these videos anyway. So what should we rate this?
Well, I mean, it wasn't perfect.
No.
But it was very interesting.
Yeah.
And entertaining the entire way through. I wasn't disinterested at any point, so...
It was all pretty good. I mean, well, I was disinterested in that one bit that they've tried to set up for season 3, which is like Jesse had a rough childhood. That stuff, because he just seems like an intolerable shit.
He's the main character. No, but I don't know, with the whole going back to his childhood thing, it wasn't great, but I feel like because it wasn't explained properly, and that's pretty much where it ended, it's not going to be so bad once season 3's out and you've seen that, and
Yeah,
You know what's happening, basically.
I'm sure they'll get me interested in that plot line with season 3. No, but until then, let's score this thing. Let's give it a bloody rating on the niceometer, or the niceometer, if you want to say it that way.
I think it was very nice.
Very nice.
So-
Which, of course, as we know, is a strong 4.
Yes. Not perfect, but really good.
Yeah, I think it lost a point, especially at the end. There, like we said, the ending was kind of sloppy, so that's why it lost a point. But a 3 was still too low, even after the mistakes it made. A 3 was too low, so give it a solid 4 out of 5 nice.
Yep.
Anything else to add?
Nope. You're done?
I think I'm all done. I think I've blown my load. Leave that in? Whatever.
Alright then.
Well, goodbye.
See you next week.
See you next week. Goodbye. Oh.
Am I the only one who thinks that's like psychotic?